And Paul, you've spoken quite a bit about the fact that Bruno Guimaraes could be tempted to leave Newcastle, whether it be in January or this coming summer. Manchester City obviously always linked very closely with him. Could you see them actually going out and getting Davide Frattesi as a potential replacement for Bruno Guimaraes whenever that deal does go for him to leave?
Well, if that deal does go, I mean, it's a big if, isn't it? I mean, I think the only way that deal would happen is if his release clause is met. Newcastle will be keen to sell fringe players and players that aren't involved on a regular basis rather than the nucleus of the main squad. I think Newcastle and Newcastle fans will be absolutely sick and fed up of talk about players leaving, and they're the richest club in the world. We've spoke about this on the pod before. Must be so frustrating. But we are where we are with these FFP and PSR rules, that they're stopping clubs like Newcastle, like Nottingham Forest, growing to the level that they should be allowed to grow to. If Bruno's release clause is met, then there's a decision to be made. Frattesi is a good player. Listen, 25 years old, came through Roma Academy, 25 caps for Italy. He's a good player, but he only signed for Inter this year, 2024. So I can't see a deal being on the cards that quickly. I can't see a turnaround like that. In a way, like Tonali, he's a similar type of player, good player, very good player, but I can't see Eddie Howe wanting to go away from the starting 11 that he's got. I think if there is a meeting with the powers that be at the top at Newcastle, Eddie Howe's stance will be leave my starting 11 or the first 12, 13 that I've got alone and do the best you can with what's around that before we have to start tapping into that. It's just crazy how Newcastle are having to dodge around these rules.
Bruno looked pretty happy celebrating with his son on social media after that win against Arsenal. But yeah, like Paul says, for me, he is their talisman, Bruno Guimaraes. I think Eddie Howe would do everything in his power to try and keep him. Looking at those lovely shots with his son after the Arsenal game when he wasn't playing, I think it shows that he is happy at Newcastle as well. And the way Newcastle are going right now, they look real contenders for the top four. That could go a long way to persuading players like Bruno to stay at the club and obviously have Champions League on offer. So look, it's a big few months ahead for Newcastle, and no doubts there will be more speculation about Bruno. But yeah, for now I don't see anything happening in the immediate future, and I think he'll remain at Newcastle to the summer at least, and then we'll probably have more rumours about him then. But yeah, top player. Newcastle won't really want to lose him, and if they did, how do you replace him? He's going to be a tough act to follow, I think. And Frattesi, who obviously has been out of favour at Inter Milan, I don't think he's overly keen on a move to the Premier League. It looks like if he's to leave Inter in this winter window, he probably prefers a move within Serie A, because there's been talk that Roma could be interested in him as well. So I think Newcastle, for me, when they've got Bruno, Joe Linton and Tonoli in midfield, it's one of the best in the Premier League, so you don't really want to break that up.
At the moment, why would he want to? Why would he want to bring players into that starting 11? I think they've got enough with what they've got, and they're proving that they've got enough with what they've got. Look at the results they've got. The defence with Botman coming back into the defence. I mean, look how long he's been out. He played the last 2 games, played 2 full games. He's obviously going to get a rest this weekend in the FA Cup against Bromley. He's going to get a chance to rotate his squad. And actually, Newcastle are linked with all these players and selling players as well. But if Eddie Howe came to the end of the window and had what he's got now at his disposal, I don't think he'd be too disappointed. I don't think there's an urgent need to bring anything in. You look at the results, look at the way that they're playing. This is a team that's on the up. They're absolutely flying at the moment. Them and Nottingham Forest are the form team. Give Eddie Howe that squad that he's got for the rest of the season. If they don't need to sell players for financial reasons, then why trade? Why risk messing about with the squad that the manager's got that he's quite happy with at the moment? So I think the thing for Eddie Howe is to come out to the end of January, get to the 31st of January, and to have the same names in front of him to choose from. I think he'd be a happy manager.